The books we cover often contain mature, sensitive, or potentially triggering content. While we aim to discuss them with care, we always recommend checking each book's individual trigger warnings before reading or listening to each episode. Protect your peace, girl. Your mental health matters here. Welcome back to Beauty's Books and Bops. In this episode, we're diving headfirst into the explosive second half of the Maddest Obsession by Danielle Lori. The angst, immaculate. The tension, still simmering. And the payoff, oh baby, it pops. We're unpacking Christian's delicious descent into obsession, Gianna's bold as hell chaos, and the emotional wreckage they leave in their wake, all while pairing the most pivotal scenes with songs that feel like heartbreak, heat, and healing. This is the episode where it all comes together. We've got confessions, confrontation, and the kind of love that burns everything it touches. You know the vibes. Let's get into it. So this man has been in therapy this whole time, going through the ups and downs, the rounds and the rounds over this woman, and she doesn't even know his name. And so here's the song, y'all. He worshipped her, tasted her like she was the only thing he ever craved. Hell yeah, he did. He sucked the bone off of her. And the craziest part, she didn't even know his first name. Christian had her body, her moans, her soul, but not her trust. Still Don't Know My Name by Labyrinth plays low, because how do you survive a man who's already claimed you before you ever really learned his name? This man is up in arms about Gianna, and she doesn't even know his first freaking name. And so that's the last time she sees Christian for 3 years. She don't know that. And so post whatever bliss, she got his phone number. He said, you ever need me, call me. She not calling. She waiting on him to call her. And shortly after she leaves his apartment, she gets a phone call and finds out that not her father. She gets a phone call and finds out that her mother passed away. And that's the only relative that she had a really close tie to. The only relative who she felt like really saw her and she truly loved. And she goes on such a downward spiral. You really feel for your girl, because I get it. Like, that's the only person that was left on this world who cared about her. And I think she went out and ended up she like blacked out, and next thing she knows, she's in jail. And she got like a DUI, driving with possession, such and such and such and such. And at that point, Nico like, look, I done had your back this whole time, but you putting me in a spot that I can't get out of. So pick anybody who's available and choose them to get married, or I'm gonna have to send you back to your family. And Gianna would rather do anything than go back to her family. So she ends up getting married. She picks the oldest guy available named Richard and gets married a second time. So this goes to part 2 of the book, where this goes to the present. So part 1 was kind of giving you that backstory of everything that led Christian and Gianna up to this point, but not really, but a good scope of everything that was going on. And so now at this point, it's the present, and I'm trying to think. Oh, she was at the grocery store, and of course somebody ended up robbing it. And everybody panicking, everyone's freaking out. And butter couldn't even melt in her mouth, because what's a robbery at a grocery store when she used to shootouts and knife stabbings and this and that. So she playing it cool. She ready to go. She ready to leave. The police show up. Oh, great. So she's sitting there in the ambulance, rifling through the little trauma pamphlet that they gave her, as if this is the first time she's been through something like this. And somebody said something like, "Oh, the clinic, I would expect you to be a frequent member there, bro. Why is a Christian coming up to her talking nonchalant as if he didn't suck the bone off and disappear for 3 years?" Gianna is so pissed, as she should be. This man, he gave her one of the best experiences she's ever had in her entire life. Show her that he's cared for her and sees her and gets her and understands her. And she hasn't seen him for 3 years. And he shows up talking nonchalantly like, "Oh, I thought you'd be blah." Girl, please. Please. This is why women kill. Because there's no way you coming up to me saying this as if we haven't spoken for the last 3 years. Like, that would have sent me so far up the wall, it wouldn't even make sense. But Christian made himself misunderstood because he wouldn't open his mouth and explain what was going on. So he showed up all Mr. Rico Suave, Mr. Nonchalant, Mr. "Oh, I'm back. Did you miss me, baby?" And so naturally that pissed Gianna the fuck off, the way it would any rational woman. And the next time they saw each other, he's kind of inserting himself into her current life, the life that she's made without him, because he's been gone for the last 3 years. She's married to Richard, who has one foot in the grave, one foot out the other. I think he might even be in hospice at this point. And he's so old, his son is older than Gianna. Well, that's not saying much because Nico's older than her, and that was her old stepson. And Antonio was older. Like, Gianna be with the granddaddies. So he's trying to insert himself into her current life, and she's involved with this social group at this point. And there's this man, Vincent, who's in love with her, and he's proposing to her. He wants to be with her. He wants to start this whole life with her. And what stuck out to me at that point was this quote. So Vincent's proposing to her, and she said, "Why do you love me?" I asked, pouring Patron into a glass. He rubbed the back of his neck. "You're so gorgeous, Gianna. Whenever I see another woman, I can't stop myself from comparing her to you." Was that all it took to love someone? Not like for real. Gianna, like, she should have slapped the taste out of his mouth. Like, is that all it took for you? You down on your knee? Why do you want to marry me? It's because she's so pretty. She's so whatever. Like, she already had the real deal for a quick little of a second with Christian. Why, Vincent? Why? Mind you, she's already married to Richard, aka Hospice Richard. And so Vincent's making a fool of himself and really stirring up trouble for her because everybody is peeping it. Everybody in the mafia see that this man has interest in her. So that's opening up everybody's eyes and nose and putting radars on her that she doesn't even want to be on her anyway. So now, lo and behold, Christian is back up in the mix. And Nico is like, "Oh, pay attention to Gianna, see what she has going on because she's getting too close to this dude named Vincent." So now, because Vincent is over here doing the most, she got her op Christian all up in her business. And it shouldn't be. She's trying to do her own thing. She's trying to move on from the dude who sucked it off the bone. She ain't seen him in 3 years. She got her husband who about to die. She got the son, the new stepson, who don't like her. Like, Gianna's just trying to do her own thing, find her own friend circle, and live her life. And here come Christian, but his nose in it 3 years later, 3 years too late. I would be so angry. And I would have so many questions like, why would you do that? Why would you suck it off the bone if it's going to disappear like this? During that time when they saying like, "Oh, you need to watch out for Vincent. Oh, Christian, look at her. Christian, make sure you checking out for her and putting security on her because we need to make sure everything's for appearance's sake." Her father reaches out to her and tells her that she needs to go back to Chicago because she's from Chicago. She needs to go back to Chicago and go to this family wedding and go show up for appearance's sake. She don't want to go. It's bringing up childhood trauma, bringing up like all this whatever. He said like, I know your husband about to die. I know your husband got 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Like, if you don't show up for this wedding, I'm showing up and I'm bringing you back to Chicago for good. Basically, twisting Gianna's arms. And at the time, as a reader, you're sitting there thinking, like, why is this such a big deal? What's the point in, like, what's the whole emphasis in that? And this whole trip back home to Chicago literally and really shows a really big spotlight on what Gianna went through that made her who she was. And she's regretting and she's also putting off thinking about going. And she ends up telling Christian about it. And he says, I'll go with you. And so throughout the trip, you kind of get like through some flashbacks. I'm like, what's the word? Through some flashbacks, you get the gist of Gianna was verbally abused by her father at such an early age, and she was also physically and sexually abused by a family member or a family friend growing up. And she's under the impression that her father knew about it and he did nothing about it. And if that he had to have known about it, because growing up, he's always referred to her with secular adjectives like, oh, you're a whore, oh, you're a slut, you're a disgrace, you're easy, you're this, you're that. And this is things that he would say to her at age like 10 or 12 when things were in the nitty gritty. So under that impression, you can't help but think he must have known. So her going home is such a triggering response, and she's so emotional and she doesn't want to go. And Christian volunteers to go down there with her because ain't no way. What's causing you problem? Let's go down there together. I'll figure it out, because that's the type of man Christian is. Mr. Make it happen. Mr. Touch her and fucking die. That is who Christian is. So Gianna's family coming back, and he's telling her that she's got to go to this wedding. It really puts her back in that mental state, and it brings up all of her unresolved childhood trauma and all of her things that she had pushed to the back of her mind. And so it causes her to relapse. And she hangs out with some of her friends that she used to hang out back in her partying days. And she relapses. And Christian sees it, and he's trying to get this truth out of her. What's going on? Like, why are you like this? And she's like, really deflecting, won't open up to him, really guarded. A lot going on. If you remember, in book number 1, in The Sweetest Oblivion with Sweeter Belly and Nico, when they were at a dinner party and Sweeter Belly was trying to make Nico jealous by flirting with Christian in book 1, this is the exact same time Christian showed up and he saw Elena was inebriated, under the influence, under some type of drug, and Elena was trying to make Nico jealous, but Christian's trying to forget about Gianna. So I appreciate this overlap, because you see where Elena's coming from, but you see where Christian and Gianna are coming from. Christian's trying to forget about Elena, and he's also amused by Elena and seeing where, like, what she's about to do with all this. Like, I know that Nico wants her at this point. Everybody knows that but Sweeter Belly. And so you see Gianna react from jealousy, even though she's trying to front like she's not really liking him. That's not her man. That's not her yeah. And so I really appreciate the way Danielle Lori the way she tied both of those scenes together in both books, because you really do get both perspectives of it. And that makes it so good. And also during that time, Gianna's kicking it with her homegirl Val, and Val tells her that she was in the bathroom ear hustling on some gossip, and she heard that Christian only fucks girls or messes around, hooks up with girls 3 times. And so she thinking like, well, how many times have him and I messed around? How many times have him and I like, oh, okay. And so she's like, oh, then this, she feel like she good because he must only want like something casual because that's all he always wants. Because apparently he only messes with girls 3 times. And while she's chopping it up with Val, Val like, yeah, hook me up, sis. Like, shoot, since you know him, I want to see what all the girls talking about too. I want to see if the proof is in the pudding. She ends up running to one of her friends who's friends with Vincent. Remember, Vincent proposed to her and wants to marry her. Well, the girl want to be where Gianna is. The girl want to be with Vincent the whole time. And she's telling her like, oh, Vincent invited us out to his yacht. He didn't invite you? Oh, how cute. And so then Vincent pulls up later and he was like, yeah, I really had to fall back because your family members are crazy. Somebody came up to my office and was pressing me and was giving me all types of drama and this, and that. And it really made me really uncomfortable. So she thinking like it must have been Luca or somebody else in the family who pulled up. And Vincent was like, yeah. And then he flashed his FBI badge and told me to step off. Now, who do we know that's in the FBI? So Christian showed his jealous ass up to wherever Vincent worked and said, back the fuck up off my woman. And Gianna's putting all of that together and she is pissed. Mind you, it's late at night. They out to dinner. She leaves. She's so mad. She walks to, where are they at? Nico's club. Soaking wet. She got on this white dress. And by the time she get there, she's literally drenched. She gets there and the secretary is like, oh, don't go back there. Don't go back there. And Gianna like, oh, fuck you. I need to go back there. And she goes back there and Gianna gonna learn. She need to stop interrupting all these meetings because it's always something on the other side of that door that she don't really need to be in. Like last time she went up in the meeting she wasn't supposed to be in, her best friend was sitting up there caked up with her man. And then they both died. So like, Gianna, if somebody say you don't need to be up in that room, you don't need to be up in that damn room. Sit your ass in the waiting room. So there's a meeting between the two rival families, Sweeter Belly and Nico's family. And she's showing her sopping wet in her little white dress. And you can see everything. And as soon as she walk up in there, she'll make eye contact with Christian. You already know Christian is livid. As soon as she walk up in there, they start to cracking jokes like, oh, this what your women looking like? Oh, I'd have her soaking wet just like that. Oh, I see what it's on. Isn't she married to an old man who about to die? So after he died, I want next. Like, I call dibs. They talking so much smack. And there's one dude in particular who's talking hella smack. And everybody just letting them have it. Nico just sitting there because he's like, what can I say? You showed up looking like this. What do you want me to do, Gianna? Like, what is there that I could say? I'm over here trying to mend these bridges for me. I'm not about to stick my neck out on the line for you. And so the dude talking all that smack, you already know Christian in the room. So what you think he did? No, he shot him one time. It wasn't all that. He shot him one time and killed him. Because Christian only need one shot. He don't need the whole clip. He don't need the whole clip. This scene is more than just a kill. It's Christian staking his claim in blood yet again. He doesn't need to say she's mine. He shows it. That's why the only song that makes sense here was Lay Down by OMB Peasy. Because all you talking about that. I got something to make you lay down, which is gritty, aggressive, and laced with warning. It's that don't play with me energy. Christian's not just protecting Gianna. He's reminding everybody in that room and in the world What happens when you forget who the fuck she belongs to? That's Christian all day. That was Christian all up in the room. What could Gianna say but nothing? It was nothing she can say. Here go Christian shooting somebody in your face again, Gianna. When you gonna learn? It's not no games to play with him. Stop showing up and showing out, because he gonna do the most every time. So Christian pop him, and Gianna's like, oh, I'm gonna go ahead and go. I'm gonna go ahead and leave. So she go ahead and act like she about to go catch the bus or catch a cab. And of course, Christian following her down there like, what did you think was gonna happen, girl? You thought he's about to let you leave like that? Christian like, nah, go ahead and get your ass on in that car. I'm taking you home. And she says something to him, and they end up kissing, and he ended up opening up the back door to his car. They right outside Nico Club. It's not like they drove away, but they right outside Nico Club. He opened up that back door. What you thought? Because I would have got up in it. I would have ran up in that back seat if Christian opened up that back door for me. Christian doing what he do. And hold on, what's the quote I wanted to read to y'all? They in the back seat getting freaky, doing all types of foreplay. And she on top of him. And he put it there. And his grip tightened on my hips, and I rested my hands on top of his to try and stop him from shoving me down all the way. I shook my head as if I'd done my best, but it wasn't going to work out in the end. All of it, he commanded. Girl, please. What are you talking about? Gianna, you better get your man, Christian. Fuck your husband, Richard. I hope he died tonight. Like, the way Christian got you hemmed up in the backseat of that car, he better die tonight. Like, it's no way. She finally getting it in with Christian. I've never been so happy for a fictional character. Like, the tension been piped up this whole time. So, it's so good. Christian literally shaking in that backseat. He damn near having a seizure. Gianna losing her mind. They getting it going. It is what it is. Finally. What percent are we at in that book? 50%. They don't fuck until 50% of the book, y'all. Do you know how amped up I was waiting on this to happen? And the way he over there damn near about to cry up in it. Please. I've never been... Fuck, he gritted, looking down at where we were connected. He gripped my hips tight enough to bruise. Tension radiating from him. Every muscle in his body pulled taut. Fuck, you're so tight. Please. About time. Gianna deserved it. After hearing everything she had going on, the two husbands, the this to that, girl, you better get it. You better get it. So, yeah, they had sex for the first time in the car. And, oh, I'm cheesing like it was me. I'm over here sitting in post bliss like it was me. I like to think that this was the song that would have been playing in their heads while they was getting busy. Christian kills a man without blinking, then turns to Gianna like she's the only thing tethering him to this world. And in that car, it's not just lust, it's obsession, possession, years of denial, igniting in one reckless, raw moment. Because keep in mind, our girl Gianna is still married. There's heat, but there's also power. Christian needs her to know, you're mine now. That's why I went with Beg for It by Chris Brown for this scene. It's dark, seductive, and pulsing with dominance. It's not soft. It's not sweet. It's the sound of two people finally giving into something they've both been dying to touch, even if it burns. Burn, baby. So after they have sex in the car, her husband Richard, man, foreshadow. I didn't even know that happened, but I was hoping it. Richard ended up dying, y'all. I don't mean to sound joyful, but Richard ends up dying, and thank God. And so, oh, that's so shitty. But the son ended up showing up saying, "You gotta go." Like, you need to bounce. Like, where you going? But this is my daddy crib. And Nico ends up telling her like, oh, I know a place where you can move to, and end up being across the hall from Christian. Cause Nico's still mad at Christian. Like, you was flirting with my girl back at the party. You thought shit was slick. You thought I forgot? Hell no. You want to avoid Gianna? Oh, I'm gonna figure out how you can avoid Gianna right here across the hall from you. And that's when things really get intimate between them, because they start building up. They see each other all the time, and Gianna just really testing Christian's patience, and he can't help. We already know he's obsessed, and him being exposed to the proximity of her, y'all, he fiending. He looking for every reason to see her. He hope he see her every time he leave. And Gianna is just so oblivious. She think he still hates her, and he's pushing her off because he's embarrassed or ashamed of her. Little does she know, this man's still in therapy because of her. He's still fiend up over her, as he should be. And we went over Gianna's childhood trauma, but the wedding is creeping up. So Gianna's getting ready to go to the wedding with Christian, and she comes out to show him the outfit before they head over to go out to the wedding. And I think she's got on like this nude dress with these nude heels. And if you know Gianna, like I know Gianna, that's not the shit she wears. Gianna wears prints, colors, feathers, furs, all of that. She's a very outlandish. That's when she feels her most strongest, her most confident, her most beautiful is when she is wearing the sequins. The more outlandish, if it don't match, she's in it. So Christian, being a true king that he is, cause he sees her, it's like go take that shit off. Put some shit on that don't match. Like, where the fur at? Where's the bedazzles? Where's the polka dots at? Ain't no way you coming out here in some nude. Where's the red lip? And that was so important to me, and I know that was so important to Gianna for being seen and not being judged, because people talk shit about her clothes the whole book. People thinking that she was ditzy and crazy and stupid and lazy or whatever, but Christian saw that that's her preference, that's her style. So he said, we not going to that wedding until you go have that fit on. So she went up in that room, and what she do? She went and put that shit on. And just seeing that and seeing the confidence that he gave her was so touching to see. And I'm like, hell yeah, hype your queen up to be the best version of herself, who she wants to be on her terms. And they go to the wedding. Things are cool. I hate her father. They go back to the family home, and he insinuates that he knows Christian, like, oh, hey, we about to do some more business together. No, fuck that. Christian would never, you couldn't even spit on Christian's boot. So they got Gianna feeling some type of way, like, oh, he's getting close to me this whole time because he does business with my family. He's getting close to me this whole time. He had an ulterior motive, this, and that. And her father gets to talking smack on her, talking down on her. I don't know when these people gonna learn. Stop fucking around with Christian, because Christian is the most trigger happy man I know. Most trigger happy man I know. Gianna was in there talking to her father, and he was like, look, your second husband died. Wrap it up. It's time to come back here, and I'm gonna find a husband for you. You need to settle down, have some kids. This isn't that. Gianna has said she would rather run and live a life on the run before she get married without a loveless marriage again. She not with it. She done been there. She done been married 2 times. What more do you want from her? She's ready to leave. Her father not hearing it. He hem her up real quick. And so then this is where Christian stepped in. He like, Gianna, step outside real quick. I'm going to talk to your dad. And I'm like, don't worry, I'm going to handle it. And so Gianna step outside thinking that Christian and her dad been working together this whole time, and mess up with her whole mental self-esteem. She over there ruminating, going through all that, and pop, 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 pop. What she hear? Christian doing what he do. Like, you have my girl hemmed up on the wall? Please. I don't care who, what, when, where. He's like, only reason why I'm not shooting you is because you her dad. And based off the way she looking at you, I don't even think she give a fuck. She shot his man's, his right hand. And that was that. I'm not even. They gonna have to learn to stop fucking around with Christian. Because he don't play. And somewhere between that and the nights that they spent after the wedding is when Christian decided, I know I said we were just having sex. I know I said I was just trying to get you on my system, but it's not. You my heroine. I want to keep. Is it heroine? Yeah, you my heroine. I want to keep you. You ain't going nowhere. Like, it is what it is. Lock in, because I've been locked in since I seen you forever ago. Since I seen you forever ago. Because it comes out, the first time Gianna met Christian was on her wedding day to meet, on her wedding day to her first husband, Antonio. And that is what started his whole fascination. That is what started his whole obsession. Christian only started working with the mafia because Gianna. Christian only started doing business with Antonio because of Gianna. She's the blueprint for everything Christian's done thus far with the mafia, just so this man could have a chance to breathe the same air in the same room as her, knowing that when he met her, she was getting married to Antonio, and said that she was convinced that she could make Antonio love her. And Christian still was like, I need to be around her. I need to breathe her air. I need to be, she got it, and I need it. I need it. And they're in love, but they're not admitting it to one another. They're fighting it really, really hard. And Gianna goes more in depth about her childhood trauma after the wedding. She's with her, like, the whole wedding incident, and with the father and them meeting everything. And it just really brings clarity as far as who she is and why she is the way that she is. And it makes so much sense. Like, her hiding behind this carefree persona, her using drugs and alcohol to mask who she is, because she's afraid of being vulnerable, because the people who should have protected her at her most vulnerable as a child spat in her face. And when she was going through and laying everything down for Christian about everything that she had went through, this is the song that came to mind when I was reading it. Gianna's world collapses after learning about her family member's death, and the weight of everything she's been holding in finally breaks her. She's been a strong person, a happy-go-lucky person, the one who dances to her own tune. But this moment, it isn't loud. It's not dramatic. It's just raw. Her relapse isn't about rebellion. It's about pain, silence, and needing something to numb the ache. So for this scene, I chose Sober by Pink, a song that cuts to the bone, is haunting, honest, and aching with that desperate question. Why do I feel this party's over? Because for Gianna, it kinda is. The moment resonated so much with me on a personal level because I've been there, where I've used alcohol or Mary Jane to cope, to sleep, or to get through the day, or to be in a positive mood. I've been the person where my friends could call me at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning, because they know I've never been asleep yet. And I get that. And it took me realizing I didn't want to be that person anymore. I wanted better for myself. But that's such a long journey. It's such a solo journey of realization. And that you need to come to that conclusion by yourself. And so I really, really, really appreciate Danielle Lori for including that struggle in this book and the depth that she gave Gianna as a character, because I've truly been there where you felt like there's nobody who understands what you're going through, and you're the strong person, the happy person, the carefree person, and you just have to perform like a clown, put on this mask, because they're used to you being that. When people ask you about your day, they don't really care, because they want to vent and dump on you, because they want you to be the happy, bright person that you normally are. So you do what you have to do to put that clown mask on. And so I get that in her showing, allowing Gianna to have that vulnerability with her person was just so beautiful and awe-inspiring. Somewhere between that and her sharing her trauma and them going through the familiarity with being neighbors, like they're having sex constantly, showering together. Christian loves washing her hair, combing her hair. They're doing mundane tasks, cooking, having dinner together. He even sees that Gianna's learning Russian for dummies. And somewhere along that, Christian like, shit, I'm staying with her. This mine. I think Christian's always known that was going to be his on a subconscious level. He just hadn't come to that conclusion himself on a conscious level. But he came to the conclusion that we had seen damn near from the beginning, that it didn't matter what Gianna said, Nico said, whoever said, Gianna's his. And he not going nowhere. So you see, when he comes to that conclusion and he starts to share that with Gianna, she fights it so hard. And it's almost like she thinks she's unworthy, or she doesn't believe. No, I would say she thinks she's unworthy. Like, she doesn't think she deserves the level of deep worship and appreciation that she knows that Christian's given her. And it is a really trying time for Gianna at this time, where she's battling her childhood trauma. She's coming to the conclusion like her upbringing and her first two marriages were really actually fucked up and shouldn't have happened. And she's discovering herself, trying to love herself, and trying to allow this man to love her. And it's such a hard time. And man, I'm gonna just play the song. In a rare moment of stillness, Christian and Gianna finally strip away the bravado. No games, no distractions, just vulnerability. They share the kind of childhood trauma that doesn't just shape you, it scars you. This is where you realize they're not just drawn to each other because of the chaos. It's the pain, the unspoken understanding, the way they recognize the same darkness in each other. For this scene, Love in the Dark by Adele felt like the only choice. It's quiet, aching, and heavy with truth. It mirrors the fear of being seen too clearly and the bittersweet beauty of letting someone see you anyway. She's lying! Christian, don't believe her. Like, don't believe her. She's just saying that to push you off. And Christian is sitting there pouring his heart out to her and saying, like, it's you, Gianna. It's always been you. It's always going to be you. And she's just pushing him away because she still hasn't healed that inner girl. And she's so fearful of rejection, fearful of someone actually seeing her and loving her wholeheartedly for who she is. And so she tells Christian she can't love him unless she knows everything about him. She can't love another man without knowing the full picture. And so Christian tells her, like, the whole time while you've been calling me a pretty boy, whole time while you've recognized my repeatance of the number 3. That's the number that the men used to do. They used to knock on the door, the men who my mom would sell me to. Um, Everyone always thought I was attractive. Like, my mom would sell me until one time one of the men went after his brother Ronan, and shit, Christian fucked him up. Damn near beat him to death, and ended up getting sent to prison in Russia for 5 years. And while he was in prison, he had got beat up while he was in prison, and one of the guards took him into a room, and she had her way, and then a couple other guards had their way. And so he's opening up about the things that he experienced as a child. And at this time, you really